Alrighty, T-Birds fans. I am pleased to be joined by number 18, Seattle Thunderbirds forward, Sam Popowich. Sam, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to get to talk with you. We're recording this, obviously, before the final games of the season, but it'll be coming out after the season has ended here. So by the time this has come out, we'll have seen you play your final games in a Seattle Thunderbirds sweater. Does it just feel surreal to you to have reached this point? It doesn't feel like that long ago. You know, drafted 2018. That wasn't that long ago, but at the same time, does it just feel surreal to have kind of reached this final stage of your WHL career?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling to even just think about it. Like even today, we just got finished with practice, and it'll be my last practice ever here in the Western League with Seattle. So I think, I mean, I still remember when I came here, guys like Kelty, Jerry Leon, and they're telling me like, it goes fast, and just got to enjoy it the whole time. And I mean, when you're 16, 17 years old, you kind of go like, well, I still got 4 or 5 more years left, but it truly does. But yeah, I think kind of going into this last week, especially, we had 4 games, and I think I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. The home games will be really special for sure, especially having that last one at home.
Yeah, man, that's it's weird to think about. It's like like you reach the end of senior year and you go through your final class, and then you got a couple more. We got 3 games here this weekend, everybody says it goes fast, and even at the next level or wherever you play next or whatever you get to do next, it always feels like there's somebody telling you, man, enjoy it because it goes by fast, and you're like, I got time, and then here you are a couple years later, and it has gone by fast. What do you have, like a fond or just like a number one memory that you'll take with you the rest of your life from your time here in Seattle?
I mean, there's the obvious answer, of winning last year, and I think that was just such a special group. I think everybody, we just kind of came together, and we just kind of had that mindset of we weren't going to be denied, and it was just a really fun year all around. But I can look back to every single year, and there's been great moments, and I think one thing that's been really special to me is I've kind of come through with a group of 03s. We all kind of got drafted together, and we kind of came in at the same time, and we not built the team back up again, but we kind of started with us, I guess, and built around our group. And I think that's something that I'll have with those guys for the rest of my life. Just we all did it together, and we're all going on to different places now, which is really cool to see all of them having a lot of success in pro. So I think that's something I'll remember. And obviously there's a lot of little things too that they've been really fun all the years, but I think that one for sure.
What would you like when you think back to each season kind of had a different like narrative, or each season had this different, you guys went into the 2020, let's see, it was 2021, 2022, and nobody expected what took place of you guys reaching the finals, and we were like, shame on all of us for not believing that you guys could get to that point as quickly as it came back in the cycle. And then just the expectation of last season, but then the also expectation of this season where, people kind of counting you out. You and I talked about that right at the beginning of the season when you guys, you went on that hot streak to begin the season, and we're kind of ending on a hot streak now this season. It feels like every season has like this narrative, and yet at some point you guys are just able to go out there and block out the noise and just play hockey, and it seems to have worked really well for you. Is that a coaching thing here in Seattle? Is that just the group of guys that you've had together? Is it, what would you attribute that ability to just go out there and always be competing?
Yeah, I think it's a testament to everything that you mentioned there. I think the coaches have done a really good job in the last few years of, kind of keeping us on the right path. Like we kind of had a saying of, like, there's our path to victory, and then there's other teams' paths to victory, and we kind of knew, especially last year and the year before when we did go to the finals. Like, I guess the year before when we went to the finals and ended up losing it, we thought I think in our room we knew we were a lot better than we were kind of getting credit for on the outside. We had injuries and guys were going down, but I think just game in and game out, we just stuck to the plan of this is how we know our team will have success, and if we play to that, it'll end up showing on the scoreboard. And we brought that. We had such a good turnover coming into that last year's team that we just kind of were able to bring that same mentality. And I think it also helps. Like, we went to the finals and we felt what it was like to lose, and like we came back that next year just with the mentality of that we're not going to want to feel that again. So yeah, I think it's a testament to the coaching staff and everybody even above them. It's just a day at a time mentality and working on our game.
Absolutely. What would you I want to put like this season and where the team is at and everything aside, just for a second, and kind of project for you. Obviously, it's sad to reach the end of the point, the season that you're in, but at the same time, it's always so exciting because there's the what's next. Like, what are you focused on when it comes to both hockey, but also like you personally? What's the vision ahead for Sam Popowich?
I mean, obviously, I want to finish strong in these last few games, but I think my plan for next year is I'll see what kind of comes out at the end of the year and if there's any teams interested. But if not, my plan is to go play at the University of Alberta and get my schooling done there. So I'll use that, and I'll go there for, I guess, as many years as it takes. Hopefully, get my full degree, and then, I mean, I don't want to just be done after that. I think that was one thing that I made pretty clear to myself and everybody who was helping me get to this point, committing with the U of A, is I don't want to just go to school and then be done. I want to, go to school, get my degree, but also look to have opportunities after that, whether it's in, playing pro in Europe or wherever that road takes me, I guess. But I guess that's big picture. But for next year, I think that's probably where I'm going to end up playing, back in Alberta.
That's a very exciting. I know that's a path that several former Thunderbirds have gone as well, and exciting that it's not like the end of that hockey. Even to that point and past that point, several years down the road, like that's not the end of the hockey journey. There's so many different branches. I had this conversation with Eric too, and he kind of said something similar. Like, there are so many opportunities out there. And the exciting thing is that, like, for the last couple of years, you kind of knew what was next for the most part. Like, oh, it's another season in Seattle, and we're going to 100% miss that, having you here. But the exciting part is, like, oh, there's kind of the unknown of what's next, and you get to go out and forge that path and kind of establish what you want to do and who you want to be going forward.
Yeah, it's like you said, I'm going to miss it too. It's going to be weird, I think, come end of August. I'm not going to be, packing up the suitcases and packing it all into my car to make the drive down here. It's definitely going to be a different time, I guess. But yeah, like you said, there's so many different options and ways you can go. There's hockey all over the world. It's such a global and international sport. So I don't think that there's one right path for anybody to take. There's the path that everybody sees where it's go pro right after the WHL, but there's a lot of good hockey out there, and I think if you're good enough, somebody will find you for the right team. So yeah, I'm just excited for what's in the future.
Absolutely. Well, looking back now at the past 5 years, all the way back to 2018, you've had the opportunity to play on some Seattle teams that had some pretty incredible players and some guys that I know that you can still consider brothers and guys that you got to go to battle with each time. If you were to sum up in just like one sentence what you want to say to all of those players that you've gotten to play with in the past, but also the players that are playing now that will get to continue on in the future, like what would you want to say to your teammates over your career?
I think just thank you. And just, I think for the guys who have been here, they already know, but for the guys who are here now and just kind of starting their journeys as Thunderbirds, it's the best time of your life. And the guys that you're in this locker room with right now are going to be your best friends for life. Like, I know guys from teams that I've played on 2, 3 years ago, I still talk to those guys, and it's definitely it's a very special kind of environment that not a lot of people get to be a part of, where there's a lot of, like, there's 20-year-olds who are best friends with 16-year-olds, and you don't really see that in a lot of different areas of life sometimes. And I think, yeah, just for the young guys, you just kind of got to enjoy it every day. It's a privilege to be here. And to the old guys who I've played with before, just thank you for making my time here as special as it was.
That's awesome. Well, the one last thing that I want to say is I feel incredibly privileged as not only a member of the T-Birds, the T-Birds organization, but also as a fan of this team, as somebody who I have to be a little more professional now on game nights, as opposed to I used to be just the guy walking around like hanging out with fans. Now that I'm upstairs, I got to be a little more professional, but I'm still the guy jumping up in my chair when you guys score, and as the person who gets to hit the goal horn, I wail on that thing. But the experience that us fans have had watching you play, watching these teams the last couple of years have been incredible. And just, if you were to say one thing to the fans and the people who got to watch you the last couple of years, what would you want to say to them about your time in Seattle, but also just as you kind of wrap your career up?
I don't even know really where to start with them. That's they kind of make the Seattle Thunderbirds hockey what it's known for. It's like some of my favorite times of the year are when teams come in to play us who don't come or who haven't been here as much. And like right when we come out, as I'll get to the bench and I'll just kind of look over at them, and they'll just be laughing and smiling and talking about how cool it is to see all the fans and doing all their chant and stuff like that. And like the last couple of years, like going through those deep playoff runs, it was such a huge advantage for us to have the fans at our home games. And like, I know they probably hear that a lot, but it makes a world difference when they get going in the games and they're doing their chants and it's getting loud in the building. It helps us so much. We feed off their energy every single night. And I think even the best part about them is we're having a year maybe not like we are now. We're not going to have as deep of a playoff run, but like every night they're at the games, they're cheering loud, and it sounds just like last year. So just thank you to them, to everybody who's come and watched throughout the past 4 years. For myself, you've definitely shown me another side of hockey. It's been a privilege to play in front of you guys, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Sam. It's been a privilege getting to watch you grow and become not only just a great hockey player on the ice, but an awesome person off the ice as well. And I can say that as somebody who has a son who is obsessed with hockey right now, even though he's only 2.5, somebody who's obsessed with hockey, having people like you who he can look up to on the ice is a really inspiring thing, and getting to see all of the kids and the young fans that get to look up and dream and think about what it's like to play on the ice at ShoWare. You bring a lot of class and a lot of excitement and a lot of professionalism to that. So we're really going to miss you in Seattle, but excited for your next steps here moving forward, continuing your hockey career.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tyler. It's been a pleasure to play here.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam.